And this is the biggest intro ever.
Hello and welcome to the Superpower Daredevil team. I'm Peter.
And I'm Rick, and today we're reviewing episode 4 of, I can't even remember if it's called Obi Wan or Kenobi. I don't know anymore.
It's
I
called
don't
Obi
know.
Wan Kenobi. I was thinking the book of something then.
No. So this, I watched this one and watched the recap of the last 3 episodes or whatever, because, to be honest, I couldn't remember a lot about it. So I was watching the recap, and watching the recap made me remember some of the things I absolutely hate about what they're doing with Star Wars, or just any of this stuff. It doesn't have to be Star Wars. It's just probably modern writing.
Anything.
So they showed the end of episode 3 where Leia had gone through the tunnels and she's come out at the other end, and the Inquisitor, Reva's standing there.
Reva. I was calling her Raya last week.
Yeah, and so Leia says to her, "Are you the one that's supposed to take me whatever off the planet?" And I think I've got it written here. Are you the one I'm supposed to meet? And then Reva says, I'll take you from here. So instead of just going, yes, I am. So Leia would go with her. She's going sinisterly, I'll take you from here. And then Leia turns around and sees the dead guy on the ground and then runs away. But why don't she just say, yeah, it's me. And then if Leia turns around and sees the dead guy, he was here trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Get even more trust. It's like, it's just like
that would make sense, Rick, though. You can't do that.
And then, yes, it just that sort of stuff. Now, I had something else written down about, I think, the end of that episode. Can't find it yet, but that's all right. So, yeah. Look, I got a little bit intrigued, I think, at the end of episode 3, when, not because Vader was there, but because there was some really good interplay between how, let's call him Ben now, but how Ben must have been feeling about the guilt about Anakin and all that sort of stuff. And I think they played that out really well, and then just dropped. It just
they sort of started with a bit of that when he was in the Bacta tank, when he was like healing. He had a bit of a flash. That's becoming a trope now, the Bacta tank.
But yes, I was just going to say, like,
Bacta tank. I'm sure
the Empire Strikes Back.
Sure, the Inquisitor that got stabbed through the guts is just in a Bacta tank right now. Because he's in Rebels. I think he's the same character that's in Rebels, and Rebels is set after this. Because Princess Leia is a young woman in Rebels.
I'm kind of going like,
so he's not
curse you, Empire Strikes Back, because the Bacta tank, it was in for 5 seconds, and now it's like people have whole conversations in it. And there was a moment there when
and they have dreams in it now.
Well,
that wasn't a thing in. That wasn't.
I wasn't sure whether they were forced. I thought they was forced talking each other. So Ben's in the Bacta tank, and there's this scene kind of where Ben's either remembering, and then it's like Vader, and I'm assuming he's in a Bacta tank that couldn't heal him enough. But
so it's back. I mustn't have been paying too much attention.
Nah, he wasn't.
I was just thinking of Book of Boba Fett, where he had all these flashbacks while he was in the Bacta tank. So this one, I just thought he was just having bad dreams.
And he could have been. So he could have been forced talking with Vader. I don't know. No, who knows now?
With their shirts off, like the Last Jedi.
But their pants weren't pulled up to their nipples. That's the problem.
They were. It was disappointing.
But like, so I think the whole part of this, because we're still chasing Leia, who's now on this planet. A water planet. Oh, who knew? Another water planet.
But I thought it was Vader's.
It looks like
Vader's thing, like his little castle he made, which I thought he made on his lava planet thing.
Well, it looks like that, doesn't it?
I'm confused. I don't.
Yes, it looked like that first scene of it looked like, I thought, oh my god, she's here and she's going to meet Vader, which is going to
that's what I thought.
Disrespect the original movie even more, because now Leia's actually met him and he's got the sense to go, oh, I sense something. You're my daughter. So, but they didn't do it. They're at a water planet, which I think they had a water Camino, was it, in what was the second movie?
Oh, I was thinking of see the underwater scene of Kenobi, like swimming underwater, just flashbacks to
it's a Phantom Menace with the little breather.
Yeah,
but I was like, I guess there's no real tension or drama in this because both of the characters that are in peril are supposed to survive.
Yeah.
Which then brings me to another point because the spy, I guess, who's helped him out. Like I thought, okay, so the tension could be you don't know whether that she's going to make it out or not, but she's made it out.
She's actually like double crossing everybody. She could be a double agent, but they sort of
So I was
that away pretty quick. And when they're because they go into this whatever it is space castle. I don't know what. It is. And like Kenobi gets out of his tank and kills a couple of stormtrooper, chucks him in the water. She's like knocked out some officer. Like there's just dead bodies and knocked out bodies all over this place. They got these probe droids like roaming the corridors. Who
don't just shoot to kill. They just go, shoot to kill. But so the underwater structure. So they've built it so it's like an iceberg. There's a little bit on the top, and then it goes way underground. And so
which is kind of cool.
Well, the concept is fine because you see in a lot of movies like you go down the elevator that goes 4,000 kilometers below the earth. But what I don't believe is that they didn't build a structure. Like forget that they didn't have shields because they didn't think anyone would be dumb enough to attack it.
Oh, it's too scary to attack.
But they didn't build it to withstand.
That was very convenient, wasn't it? No shields.
But especially like 4,000 miles below, right? Because they're underwater, a long way underwater, but apparently Obi Wan can still maintain. That's the Force, so the pressure's not killing him, but he's under there. But then one blaster shot to a window cracks the window. And I'm going, wouldn't they build something that just in case?
But no one's going to invade. Like they don't need shields because they don't think anyone's going to invade them. No. So they obviously didn't think that far ahead.
No. And then
I did enjoy seeing floating stormtroopers a bit. That was all right.
Yeah, the ones that
through the window.
Bloom. Towards the end of the episode, where so they've rescued Leia, they're running out. And then they get surrounded by stormtroopers. I still wasn't worried because I know how these guys can shoot. They could have all just ended up. They didn't even need to be rescued. The stormtroopers could have just shot them all. Shot every 100 stormtrooper that was surrounding them. They would have just killed the other stormtroopers and just missed the actual targets in the middle because those guys can't shoot for shit.
But before that, when you've got the interrogation of Leia,
yes.
But she doesn't really know where these rebel bases are or anything, like where these rebels are. Like, how does she know? She's 10. She's 10, and she's been kidnapped. She's been taken here, there, and everywhere by Obi-Wan trying to rescue her, and she doesn't know where these secret bases are.
Yes, they didn't even tell her. At no point previously she hasn't even been standing over a map room. Where they're just going, we've got here, here, and here. And she's kind of gone, I'm remembering with my Force brain. But she's just gone into a safe house and gone into the tunnel, basically. That's all that she's done. So how is she supposed to know? But she's outsmarting this Reva by saying, I'll have to tell my father first. Nice try, kid, or something. It's like, well, you don't know. Let her read your brain. Yeah,
like, it's not that she's strong; it's that she
doesn't know anything. This is where I don't think because watching this and watching Boba Fett, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me don't believe anything because ultimately you're going to be disappointed.
I don't even remember that much about this. Like, was Obi-Wan a bit slower? Is the injury slowed him down a bit with his?
No,
I just remember him in the corridor for about 10 minutes, just deflecting like stormtrooper.
I actually thought I thought they were actually showing us him getting a bit stronger because
he's showing him getting a bit weaker.
Oh, I thought he's using the Force, and therefore now it's coming back to him. Oh, yeah, that's how it works. I can deflect bullets, and no one's there's no tension because I can just do choo 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 choo. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love this franchise when I was 7 years old, and maybe that's it. I'm sitting here watching it as a 39-year-old.
Well, that's good. That makes me what, 35 or something.
But I'm sitting there watching it as a 39-year-old and analyzing it with that brain, because there are logic holes in Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, but the movies are so good that you are willing to forgive them.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But here now, what they're doing is they're introducing stuff that ruins what came before it, and I might be more forgiving of that if the story was good or engaging or something like that. But it's not, and it just. I don't know if I'm sitting here looking to pick holes in it, or the story's not good enough that I'm that engaged where I can go. I don't know. I just don't know.
But because it's not subtle in the things that they do too. That that the changes that they have made. It's like they stand out pretty well. I've been watching the latest series of Better Call Saul.
Yep.
And I don't know if you watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
I got halfway through that one. Yeah.
They were saying that in Better Call Saul, there's the Chicken Man. What's his name? He's in Mandalorian as well. But anyway, the Chicken Man's got in this, he's worried that someone's coming to get him. So he's set up this whole system where he's actually owns the houses around him. So he goes to his house and he goes in a tunnel and goes to the back, and where all goes into a neighbor's house basically, and they've got security cameras and. Mike, the bald guy, Mike.
Yeah.
He's watching and everything. And I was watching one of the creators talk about it and said in an episode of Breaking Bad, Walter goes up to the house and up at the Chicken Man's house, and he gets a phone call, and it's Mike saying, "Don't do it, just back away," and they never explained it. And so I thought that's how you do it. Like this episode in the prequel to Breaking Bad, you see that he's got this underground network of different houses where he hides out. And it's just subtle, because it was never like, aha, see, that's why Walter. It was just like most people wouldn't even pick that up. It was only because the creator said that. And I just thought, that's how you do it.
Yes, that is like well-planned stuff and subtle and
whereas
stuff.
This is not. See, this isn't planned. This is like, we'll just fit that in somehow.
Well, this is kind of like we wanted Ewan McGregor back as Obi Wan, so we are going to make a story. Let's set it when he's looking after Luke. But this story is just the wrong story, because unless Leia gets mind wiped at the end of this somehow, like she might fall over and knock herself out, and then just like. I don't remember what happened. This is not going to work because she can't be.
She was going to remember. She wasn't sad when Obi-Wan got killed by Darth Vader. Like Luke was freaking out, but Leia's like, "Come on, let's get in the Falcon."
Luke knew him for like 5 minutes.
There.
So something has to happen there, because otherwise
it doesn't make sense.
It ruins everything before it. Like she'd go. Ben Kenobi, remember when you rescued me? I need your help again. That's what the R2.
Yeah, or she's so upset. Oh, why are you so upset, Leia? Oh, he rescued me when I was little, and I spent this intense 3-month period of getting captured and then getting rescued and then getting captured again and then getting rescued again.
So, but
this was just a filler episode. We talk about filler episodes a lot. This was just what happened last episode, but
just longer
again.
Yeah. But if you go back to episode 4 again, so if this is now the continuity, because Disney now is canon, and they don't wipe Leia's brain, so this makes the bit where they've just escaped from the Death Star and the Falcon, and Luke, who's just depressed because, oh my God, Ben, the guy I've known for 2 days, they just killed him. And Leia's consoling him, going, "Oh, they blow up my planet. and I knew him before, it makes that even more shallow.
And so
it just drives me nuts.
And another nod to the original movies is that when they're rescued by these two other pilots who I don't even remember seeing earlier, but I guess they were in it.
Oh, yes, yes. So this is my point. So
it was all surrounded by the stormtroopers scene.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a Maverick moment. We're going to lose our heroes, but then all the stormtroopers get shot out by these.
They couldn't hit the side of a barn. They can't do anything.
I think they would have got something with that close range,
the box that was next to them. So
those two ships come in and rescue them.
Speeders.
And one of them, speeders. They get one of them sacrifices himself, I suppose. They go. I didn't care because I didn't even know who he was.
This is yes.
So if it was the friend of the other character, it might have meant more. But I didn't know who that guy was. And the other pilot, Sad, must have known him. But we don't care because we don't know who.
No one cares. So this is what I was thinking, because there's no tension because Leia and Ben make it out. So the tension is if then the spy is the one that gets killed.
Yeah,
because she's been in the story now for 2 episodes, and she's got a bit of a story and stuff like that. So if she'd sacrificed herself, and they knew it's like the writers go, we need to throw a sacrifice out there. So someone had to die.
Someone had to die.
And so let's just get some
risk to lift the stakes.
So let's just get random guy killed. That's it.
And we have a scene with Vader who's angry at Reva, puts her in the choke, and she says, "I let them go." And he puts it down.
Can I say? It's like Lando when Chewie's got him. Han, there's still a chance to save Han.
And she said, I let them go. I put a tracking device. Now she's going to lead us to the rebels. And that's just straight out of the older movies. So was that where they got the idea? Vader's like saying to Moff Tarkin, "Hey, let's put a tracking device on the Millennium Falcon.
Tarkin
will lead us right to the rebel base."
I made a chick a few years ago.
Vader. You're not just a pretty face. Wow, So it cheapens stuff in a way, doesn't it? Like
everything about this cheapens what came before. And I thought the whole point about Ben being on Tatooine was to watch Luke, and he has been on Tatooine for about 5 seconds in this series.
Been kidnapped by sand people at the moment.
He spent more time with Luke's sister than he has watching over Luke. So if this series had to be made, which it didn't, I think it was just a fan service because people wanted to see both Anakin and Ewan again. But if it had to be made, shouldn't it have been like about Ben having this dual life about trying to make sure that Luke's okay and then trying to help rescue Force-sensitive people because he knew that someone's come to him saying, "You need to help us because they're tracking down the Force-sensitive people."
That would have been better.
It'd be a bit more exciting because there are more people whose lives are at stake. Like, not everyone's going to live all throughout every episode.
But then they wouldn't have had to rescue the princess story, Rick.
She doesn't have to be in this. That's my point. She shouldn't be in this.
She shouldn't be in it. Yeah, she shouldn't. Could have been another princess. If they had to have a rescue the princess story, it could have been someone else's daughter.
All right, I think I've wasted all my nerd credits now. I've expelled them.
I just felt this. I thought last week's episode was better.
Last week's
to be maybe getting the right track, but this one sort of was just nothing to me in a way.
Last week had that redeeming. Had the redeeming confrontation between. And then this one's just gone back to...
It's just filler, really.
But most of it has been filler. Like, Boba Fett was filler.
I'm actually starting... Because I was thinking, we've only got one episode left, but we've got 2 left. And I did read an internet rumor, and now I'm wondering if it's actually going to be true, but I don't know if I want to spoil it.
Do it now.
If you've read I read that the ending
no one's
was
watching.
and that Reva has a bit of a turnaround at the end and sees the errors of her ways, and then goes to lets Obi-Wan go, and then goes to Vader.
Far out.
And then Vader kills her. And it sort of looks like that could happen.
Looks like that could happen. I'm going to say it. Fuck. It's just, I don't know if Disney know what they're doing with this franchise at all. And I don't know if it's the 7-year-old kid or the 12-year-old kid who saw some really cool movies back then. You know what I mean? Like, are they trying to make?
I think we both, when The Force Awakens came out, we both enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like on first viewing.
Yeah.
And that sort of brought back a bit of the fun of Star Wars, I thought.
Yes, yeah, it did.
And then they sort of had these really good characters all set up, and then they did nothing with them. And
it's kind of like what they're doing
sort
here.
Of tarnished that. And I think if they made a really compelling, fun story, I think that it would be good. But they've got a whole universe.
Yeah.
It's a galaxy far, far away. They could be telling stories, but it's like they have to put something in that's well known. Surely Star Wars is well known enough. Star Wars something. Let's have it with no characters we've ever seen before.
Well, I think they're doing that. Isn't there Star Wars Old Republic coming out?
Okay, is that what that is?
But
I mean, as everybody knows that's ever watched the show, I do really like The Mandalorian. I think that's the best thing that they've brought out since Return of the Jedi, to be honest.
That's not saying a lot, because that was shit too. But yeah, I don't know whether.
Everything else I just think, I liked some of it, mainly the Mandalorian episodes.
Yes, exactly. It was Mandalorian 2.5 or whatever.
Didn't go anywhere. Well, the Kenobi dude's calling this episode 3.5.
I'm going back to, I don't know why I'm disappointed by it, because am I sitting here watching it with my 39-year-old eyes? I've said this already, but is it because now I'm older, so I want to analyze stuff?
If that was the case, then last week you would have hated the Vader stuff and all that.
But they
still make something interesting and compelling. You'll like it. This episode wasn't interesting or compelling.
I think that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, nostalgia plays a part, but it only goes so far too. And
you make something interesting and compelling,
like diminishing the originals by adding on and adding on. It's like a Jenga pile or something. You keep pulling bits off, it's all going to collapse. But anyway. We've still got the ones that we like. They don't go away. Well, they do actually, because we've only got the special editions, but never mind.
But yeah, it's disappointing to see where they've taken it. So
it just could have been a little standalone Ben Kenobi adventure without any connections really. Like a little, Luke's going okay. I don't really want to leave him, but I've got to go do this thing. And that was it. Didn't have to have Vader, didn't have to have Leia, didn't have to have anything else we've seen before, really.
I've got no problem exploring the guilt thing of what happened to Anakin, because they never. Yeah. But at the same time, you're right. It doesn't need to happen either. It could still just go. All right.
They just make it smaller. Like they make everything smaller by having everyone in everything.
Yeah. It'd be like just walking down my small little street now and seeing everyone I've ever met in my life at my local shopping centre.
Yeah, and they've got a whole universe that they could be exploring. But anyhow, I'm done. Are you done?
I was done about 10 minutes into that episode, but all right.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. If you've been watching, if you enjoy our reviews and our recaps, please subscribe, please like, please comment, and we will see you next week for episode 5. And we might have a video out Friday, Rick.
Friday or Saturday, I'll tell you. I'll give you a clue what it is. No one's going to guess it. All right, because no one's watching.
Well, they might watch it later.
Nah, all right. Oh.
Well, you keep making reviews for the show, Molly says.
Yes, we got 2 episodes left and we'll still do it.
Yeah, we're still going to do it. It could get better.
Can't see how.
The next 2 episodes might be Ripper.
Is it RIPPA? Ripper.
All right. Thank you very much for seeing.
I think we've had enough. It's late. It's about 1 a.m. Okay. See you.